Why did God keep Moses' burial place a secret? Over the centuries, this question has intrigued many people. Even though the Bible doesn't directly say why God did this mysterious thing, there are a few interpretations. Some commentators think God hid Moses' body to stop it from becoming an object of worship. Moses was an important person in Jewish history, and if people knew where he was buried, they might start treating it like a special object to pray to. God didn't want folks focusing on Moses' body. Instead, he wanted them to focus on him. Another interpretation is that God hid Moses' body to show that spiritual things are more important than physical things. By keeping Moses' body a secret, God wanted people to think about Moses' teachings and what he left behind, not just his body. This way, God highlighted the lasting impact of what Moses said and did, rather than just his physical remains. But maybe hiding Moses' body was just a piece of God's special plan and his hidden ways. As the Bible says, Moses passed away on Mount Nebo, which is to the east of the Jordan River, in front of the city of Jericho. He was laid to rest in a place unknown, in the valley across from Beth Peor. And Moses the servant of the Lord died there in Moab, as the Lord had said. He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. Deuteronomy 34 verses 5-6. Even today Mount Nebo is known as the mountain called Mount Nebo, in the Medaba district of Jordan. It's southeast of Jericho and about 9 kilometers northwest of the district's capital, Medaba. Beth Peor, where Moses is believed to be buried, was situated in the mountain range on the opposite side of the Jordan. He buried him in Moab, in the valley opposite Beth Peor, but to this day no one knows where his grave is. Deuteronomy 34 verse 6. In his final hours, Moses reached the highest degree of closeness to the Creator. On that day, his grave disappeared and has not been found to this day. As we said before, there are commentators say it's hidden so no one turns it into a worship spot or treats it with disrespect. However, there is a contradiction in the verse describing Moses' burial. While it says that the exact grave site is known, it also says no one knows where he is buried. But to this day no one knows where his grave is. Deuteronomy 34 verse 6. The idea that we can't find Moses' grave has a deeper meaning. Believers think it's because Moses' teachings and leadership are alive in us. So, having a physical grave doesn't really matter. However, these explanations and others similar to them are not adequate to resolve the contradiction. Is there a reason why Moses' burial place was detailed? If God wanted, he could change the location described in the Bible or give up the description of the burial place. It is possible that those who are searching for the grave of Moses, the most important prophets, may believe that he is buried in the ravine in front of Beth Peor in Moab, in the lowest place. Beth Peor is the meaning of the place of Baal Peor, the idol. One thing is not clear: why was Moses buried in Beth Peor, the lowest place of idolatry? To understand this, let's go back for a moment to Balaam and the sin of the Israelites. After Balaam couldn't curse Israel, he sent the daughters of Midian to lead them into idolatry. They coaxed them into prostitution, and in the process, made them bow to Baal Peor. The main goal of the daughters of Midian was to lead the Israelites to worship of Baal Peor. Treat the Midianites as enemies and kill them. They treated you as enemies when they deceived you in the Peor incident involving their sister Cosbi, the daughter of a Midianite leader, the woman who was killed when the plague came as a result of that incident. Numbers 25 verses 17-18. According to the scriptures, Midian's girls achieved their main goal. So Israel yoked themselves to the ball of Peor. And the Lord's anger burned against them. The Lord said to Moses, "Take all the leaders of these people, kill them and expose them in broad daylight before the Lord, so that the Lord's fierce anger may turn away from Israel." So Moses said to Israel's judges, "Each of you must put to death those of your people who have yoked themselves to the ball of Peor." Numbers 25:3-5. Moses didn't say to the judges of Israel to punish those who commit sins in relationships with girls of Midian, but those who follow Baal Peor. Throughout the generations, a wide-open iniquity is neither forgotten nor forgiven. Even many years after the desert time, this sin comes back, according to Scripture. In the book of Deuteronomy, Moses tells the Israelites about this wrongdoing. "You saw with your own eyes what the Lord did at Baal Peor. The Lord your God destroyed from among you everyone who followed the Baal of Peor." Deuteronomy 4 verse 3. Even after entering the promised land, the Israelites still feared this evil, according to Joshua. Was not the sin of Peor enough for us? Up to this very day we have not cleansed ourselves from that sin, even though a plague fell on the community of the Lord. Joshua 22 verse 17. Even King David mentions this sin in Psalms. They yoked themselves to the Baal of Peor and ate sacrifices offered to lifeless gods. They aroused the Lord's anger by their wicked deeds, and a plague broke out among them. Psalm 106 verses 28-29. Israelites were always back, worshipping Baal Peor. Moses was buried in Beth Peor for a very important reason. This was to make sure the Israelites stayed away from worshipping idols. The sin related to Baal Peor isn't just something that happened once with the Israelites. It's a mistake that they make time after time. Moses was not allowed to enter into the promised land, but he got some comfort and the chance to at least see it. The promised land is like a perfect idea, something Moses really wanted to make happen. It's not just a thought for him, he knows it well. And it's not just about enjoying its fruits. But when Moses passed away, he wasn't buried in the promised land. Instead, he was laid to rest in Gad's part. Gad is known everywhere as a super brave warrior, the main guy in charge, the one at the front of the battle. He is described as being a brave warrior, the chief of staff, the spearhead. The sons of Gad took the lead to extend their borders beyond the eastern Jordan because they were not afraid of what people would do to them. Some things are really special and holy, like Moses' grave. The exact spot where Moses is buried remains a mystery. For those who follow Moses' teachings, his grave holds no importance, it's as if it doesn't exist. Moses continues to live on through his teachings in the Bible. He guides us in the places where we meet our most basic life needs. These places, touched by Moses, create a boundary between the everyday and the sacred. Moses encourages us to treat the natural world with respect and refinement. Following Moses' teachings connects us to an inner point that stays pure and doesn't need us to bow down to Moses actively. As a reminder that God's workings are beyond human understanding, it invites believers to trust in his wisdom and sovereignty. Moses' body may have been hidden for unknown reasons, but it arouses curiosity and invites us to contemplate deeper spiritual truths. Faith often requires embracing mystery and trusting a higher power beyond our comprehension. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.